Just let me tell you this in the next 8 minutes and it will change your life, because I was at the top of my career, leading roles, recognition, everything I'd ever worked for and dreamed of, and I'd manifested it, in my opinion. But the truth was, in all of that, my body was actually shutting down. I was burning out. I got digestive issues, chronic throat pain, hair loss. All my relationships were falling apart. Everything was falling apart. Doctors couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain it. I was doing everything right. I wasn't drinking. I was eating right, meditating, trying to do the work, trying to be more grateful on top of all of this chaos. And what happened? And it didn't work, because what the self-help gurus are afraid to tell you, I'm going to tell you exactly today. Okay? I was sick because I was just trying so hard to remain perfect. And this is the truth. You know that we only need the faith of a mustard seed to move mountains. But what I had done is I turned away from the true power. I was trying to use the universe. I was trying to raise my vibration. I was trying to do all this stuff. But actually, the true power is when you give it away to God. Give everything in your life to this infinite presence of God within you and around you and through all things, and start to surrender and let go. Actually, when you try so hard, you go against the natural flow of life. You go against the flow of life that wants to give you all the things that you desire. And it was only when I realized this that I started to be able to heal myself, because all I was trying to do was look for answers, look for the next coach, look for the next book, look for the next thing. And it was only when I decided that it is only ever going to happen within me that I started to heal. So what I realized was I was drenched in fear. I was detached from faith. I had nothing that I could be a part of. I was just alone. I was this powerful being in an infinite universe that could create his own life, but I just didn't know how to truly access it. I'm going to tell you today, you access it when you stop trying to control everything, when you stop trying to be perfect, when you're willing to face the deepest, darkest parts of yourself and realize that as you detach back from them, they cannot live in you anymore. That was when this nervous system in my body started to align. That was when every cell of my body started to be revitalized and renewed. That's when the healing happened for my digestive issues. The pain left, the hair stopped falling out. I am now living in a country I want to live in with a beautiful wife and children. All my needs are met. And I do not ever put as much effort in as I used to. If anything, I make my life about my inner environment, the inner garden within me. I actually go to that garden on a daily basis and I say, is there room for God in me? Is there room for God in me? Because if I make gods of other things like my health, if I make gods of circumstance, if I make gods of money, if I make gods of these things, that's when I start to lose it. So many people would say, and they quote, the love of money is the root of all evil. What it's actually trying to tell you is when you make a god of money, it is going to become the god of you. It's going to control your life. It's going to ruin your life. So you'll be the richest person in the mansion, but the loneliest person, because you have made God of money and you've become lopsided. So what I realized, I was lopsided in life. Me being at the top of my game meant everything to me. Me being perfect meant everything to me. So I had no extra space to allow divinity to come in and take hold of my life. So as I began to let go, as I started to realize, and I still at this point was using source, quantum field, universe, and all these things. It wasn't only until a few years back I started to call it God. And I realized that true loving nature. And that's when life took the next steps. But I healed myself from realizing that actually I had made a decision that I must be sick. There must be something wrong with me. Stress had led me to fear-based thoughts all the time. My relationship with myself had become so dramatically painful. I actually disliked myself. I'll be really vulnerable here with you guys. I remember getting up and being in the shower and testing my voice before a show and screaming at myself in anger for the fact that I had no control over my actions. Every action was based on emotion. When you become emotionally stable, now you can actually get clarity in your thoughts and take actions from a place of peace. So my number one rule is don't take action from fear. In my life, taking action from fear has ruined all the good things that I've ever had. And it's when I stopped taking action from that place, that's when life started to work. So I want to tell you guys, where are you taking action in fear based on your health? Where are you taking action in fear based on your finances? Where are you taking action in fear based on your marriage, on your relationships? What place in your life are you doing it? Now, the burnout came from this need to think that I was the sort of master of my life. You can be the master of your life, but you have to understand, when you let go and trust that there is something in this world, in this experience, that wants to work through you and actually take control of your life. And it was only when I went to the Bible and started to understand the deeper truths of God and what Jesus was trying to say, that I started to realize that God wants to work through me and take me to the places that I want to be in life. Now, I have one affirmation that I've said a lot on this channel, but I'll say it for you again. This affirmation, done from a place of peace, done from a place of ease and relaxation. And I'll talk about that after I tell you about this affirmation. But this one affirmation was life-changing for me. I'm in my true place in life. I'm doing what I love with who I love. I'm infinitely prospered, infinitely blessed. I'm divinely happy. I'm divinely safe. I mean, it was just so beautiful because it's not so intrinsically about one thing. It doesn't say I have to be a multi-millionaire. It doesn't say I have to have the most perfect this or that. I have perfect health. It was a general, easy, relaxed truth that divine energy can come into all those areas. And I want you to understand this, because gratitude is never the healing presence. Actually, what the healing presence within you is in peace. Why does it say, peace be with you? Go in faith, your faith has made you whole. Go in peace. Why does it say that in the Bible? It doesn't say your faith has made you well. Go and feel grateful right now. It always tells us to come back to peace. So when I realized that peace was the quintessential thing in my life that is going to allow me to let go and start to trust in something greater than myself, that's when God started to take over. So I sit here before you now, soon to turn 38 in my life, in the most healthy, happy place I've ever been. And I just cannot tell you enough that surrendering to God, surrendering to life, and the art of surrender is the key. So I just stopped trying to make things happen. I stopped trying to be successful. I stopped trying to be healthy. And I just aligned to those divine truths within me. I started to let go of all fears. I started to work with the fear in my body, because I realized that the body is the temple of God. And if I don't clean the house, there's no space for God to come into it. I started to see that Jesus, being the Prince of Peace, is the doorway to God. He said, only those who come through me can come to God. So if I come to peace, then I can allow God within me to settle within me and take over. Now, nothing outside of me can vex me long enough. Do I still have reactions? Do I still sometimes get angry? Do I still get upset? Of course. But I will literally do all I can when I'm out of balance to find that deep inner peace again. And I do it by just observing those sensations, those nudges from my body, which is screaming at me, telling me what I'm feeling on a deeper level. You see, the body is the subconscious mind. It's telling you what you believe in a deeper way. And if we don't listen to it, like I didn't when I was performing, it starts to create physical issues because there's an imbalance within me. Now it's showing me I can't tell you through all these emotions. Now I have to tell you physically that we're breaking down, that you're not connected to the infinite divine truth within you. So I had to understand that. So sitting with my body, teaching it to relax, even though I felt like I just wanted to run away. And I'll give you a more recent example. When I moved back to Spain, I remember there was this one point I had just me with my children. My wife was away, and it was just me and the two boys because she was away with my daughter. And I started to have this fear that I'd made the wrong decision. So for about 3 days, a lot of fear was coming up, and I just would sit with it because I understood one thing after healing myself, that fear was an illusion. It didn't necessarily mean a truth. So I sat with the fear. I observed it. I sat back and I breathed, just like I'm going to show you here. So you sit back, you breathe, you start to relax your shoulders. With each breath, I would try and relax more physically. And I would just watch this fear within me without any judgment. And as the fear would come up, it would start to move. It would want to move to places within the body. So I just allowed it. I followed it with a childlike intrigue, and I ask you to do the same. Now as it came through that childlike intrigue, now I could relax. I found a relaxation in me physically like I'd never felt before, and my thoughts stopped. So from that place, I had this wonderful stillness. From that stillness, I could start to lay new ideas into my subconscious mind. I started to claim that prayer. I'm in my true place in life. I'm doing what I love with who I love. I'm infinitely prospered, infinitely blessed. I'm divinely happy. I'm divinely safe. And it just started to take root. And as that seed grew, and as I started to let go of more and more of my reactions and my fears, that's when something started to take over. Now, where there was problems, where there was ill health, where there was limitation, there seemed to be only solutions. And it was that truth underneath that I realized, with God, all things are possible. Now, it also tells us a lot to be still and know that I am God. So it's asking us, find stillness within your day to commune with God. And you commune with God only when you get to that place of peace. That's when you allow that infinite presence to come in, because it's that faith in God over circumstances that allows things to change. And I just started to find that so beautiful. So as I claimed it, as I relaxed, my faith grew. And I started to do it in smaller parts of my life. When the kitten disappeared for 3 weeks in the winter and everyone thought it was going to die, I let go to God because I knew my daughter loved that kitten more than anything. And I started to claim that kitten is divinely guided home. It knows exactly where to come. It knows where its home is. God is guiding it now. And my wife sending me that picture of that kitten having the milk, I just started to grow in faith exponentially. Then every time I started to feel myself pushing to try and make something happen in my life, again I would feel it in my body. I would find that stillness, and I would start to claim God knows only the answer, only the solution. There's always a solution here. I'm divinely guided to success, peace and harmony in all parts of my life. And I would literally saturate my mind with divine truths until it went in from the head knowledge to the heart knowledge and the body knowledge. Now my body stayed relaxed in a world that can be chaotic, and that's when a path started to come. That's where the divine guidance and inspiration started to flow. And I want you to know this as truth. So if you're on a healing journey, if you're looking to manifest in your life, don't keep trying to do all of these different techniques. Go to the stillness within, to the point where the fear leaves, where your mind can have clarity for a while and start to claim those truths. It will start to lay a seed, and that seed will grow. And remember, we only need the faith of a mustard seed within us to move a mountain. And that's what I started with. And that's when the mountain slowly started to move, and the faith started to grow, and the seed started to grow. And now my life seems to be divinely guided. Now, can it go further? Yes, I'm excited to see what else it wants to produce. But I have learned that I don't need something to happen for me to feel safe anymore. I found safety in a truth and a faith in divinity. And that's where the abundance comes, the body heals, the love is allowed to flourish in your life, and wonderful decisions happen. I hope this video helped you guys. I loved making it for you. I'm going to see you at the next one.